Hello everyone, Mr. Sugeno here with a video for you today about retro game collecting. This video is meant for beginner collectors. Maybe you're new to the scene, have a small collection or no collection and just want to get started. Hopefully this video will give you a few good tips and help you along your merry way. On the flip side, if you are an experienced collector, this video is probably not going to help you at all. You're probably going to know absolutely everything I'm about to say. So if you're new, hopefully this helps. All right, a little bit about myself. I have a few retro systems and a few retro games. I do not have a complete set. I'm not going for a complete set. I'm very happy with what I have. I don't go for complete in-box games, and it's okay by me. I'm happy with what I have, and that's what matters. I'll expand my collection here and there, but generally I'm pretty set in what I've got. So, moving on from there, retro gaming has become increasingly popular over the last few years. It's both good and bad. It's good in the sense that these games are still being played. People still care about the games. For example, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past for the SNES, amazing game when it came out, completely amazing, one of the best for the SNES in my opinion, and it's still being played today, and that's amazing. Like, that's probably one of the best part about retro games, is that people are still playing them, they're still relevant, and that's really cool. Now, the downside to this is the whole supply and demand factor. So these games are not getting cheaper. Not at all, by any stretch of the imagination, and they probably won't get much cheaper. They'll probably get more expensive as time goes on, provided that retro gaming continues to be popular. There's a limited supply. They're not being printed anymore. If a game gets lost or breaks down or whatever, destroyed in some way, shape, or form, that's one less in circulation. That's one less available. Also, sellers are becoming much more savvy and educated on the matter. It's very easy to find out what your game is worth and what people are willing to pay for it. There's a good website called pricecharting.com, which will show, the price of a game, what it's going for, complete in box, loose. It even has eBay links on there for, recent eBay sales. So it's very easy to find out what these games are worth, and people are doing their homework and finding that out. I'll say there's still deals to be had, but they're becoming more and more rare, and will continue to become more and more rare as time goes on. If you are just starting out, I will first recommend start small. Don't go out and try to buy 1,000 systems at once. Start with 1 or 2 systems. Maybe you own a system already. That's great. That's a great starting point. It can get very expensive very, very fast. So start small, because you might even collect a system in some games and then realize it's not for you, or you're not enjoying it anymore, and you can leave or just stop collecting without being out too much money at all. You might actually be able to sell your stuff if you got it for a good deal at the same price you bought it, or even more, and either be ahead of the game or on par. If you start big, chances are you might end up overpaying for things, forking out a ton of money, and it can be extremely financially straining, and you can be nickel and dime to death pretty quick on that. So start small. Secondly, have a focus. So focus on games that you like, that you want to play. For example, if you've got a Game Boy games actually are pretty good prices right now, in comparison to some other systems out there. If you've got to focus on a certain game genre, like for example, if you like puzzle games or if you like RPG games, start small and have a focus. So focus on something small like that. Start collecting puzzle games for the SNES. Maybe there's a couple puzzle games that are a little more rare. Well, take your time and focus on those and collect them. And then after that, venture on to a new system or venture on to another genre that you want to look at. I highly recommend something like that, like an approach like that. That way it doesn't get too unmanageable too fast, and it's not too expensive. Thirdly, be patient. Be very, very patient. It's very easy to go out and just pluck the games that you want off eBay. Oh, this game looks great, buy it now, great, done. This game on Amazon, buy it now, great, done. You will probably get hosed down pretty good in pricing in that regard. Take your time, see what's out there, and be patient. Be very, very patient. You might see a game, it might be amazing, but at the same time, it might be a terrible value, and you could be out a lot of money, and then you'll see the same game 2 weeks later for half the price, a quarter of the price, and you'll be kicking yourself. So be patient, don't overpay, do your homework, and know what you're getting. It's very easy to splurge and just go crazy on it. Please don't. Take your time, be knowledgeable. And that also helps out the gaming community in general too, because if you're being patient on that and someone's got a game listed at a horrendous price and you really want it and you don't buy it, chances are it might get relisted at a lower price, and hopefully that takes effect across the board. That's a little wishful thinking, but just in general, try not to overpay. Take your time. The fourth thing, don't limit yourself in your searches. So be very broad in how you search, and be very crafty. So you might not find what you're looking for in yard sales. It's becoming increasingly difficult if you're looking for a specific game. It's not to say it's impossible, but it's getting more and more rare. You can always check out like a flea market. When I'm out and about, I always check out my wife hates it, but I always check out the game shops at the flea markets and stuff, or just, if we're at a flea market, I go check out the little booths that have some games and just see what's available and see what they're charging, and if it's whether or not it's a good deal. And I would say that if you are broadening your horizons on where you're searching, if you're looking at eBay and Amazon and looking at like some buy it nows or some auctions that are set out that are nice and low, chances are you'll have a lot better time on trying to find what you're looking for. In Canada, we have this website called Kijiji. It's similar to Craigslist. It's like an online garage sale. It's amazing, and you can find some really, really good pickups on there. And it's a lot easier than driving around to these yard sales. People usually just put the stuff right on the website. Amazing deals on there, and I would highly, highly recommend checking it out. So you have Craigslist or Kijiji or whatever you have. Just broaden your horizons. Look in a lot of places. Also, that being said too, you can always trade. So there are retro gaming stores. If you have some games that you want to trade, if you're looking for some things, if you find some games at a good price, for example, if someone's selling, I don't know, let's say someone's selling like a Super Game Boy, and you pick it up for $2 and it works. Those things can sell anywhere from, online on the eBay, people try to get like 40 or 50 bucks for them, but like a retro gaming store might give you 5 or 10 bucks for it. And if you trade in a game like that, let's say you want to buy another game, you can put that and use that as collateral towards your purchase, like a little bit of credit towards your purchase, right? And help yourself out there. So I would definitely recommend something like that. Like if you find a game at a great deal, it's a great deal, but you don't really want it, just pick it up if you want to trade it. And it's a good tip. Also, Rome wasn't built in a day. People like John Hancock and Pat the NES Punk, Metal Jesus Rocks. These guys have like tons of games. John Hancock has like over 10,000 games in his collection. He has complete sets, complete in box, all of that stuff. Chances of you obtaining something like that at a reasonable price now, if you're starting from scratch, is very, very unlikely. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying set your expectations low. Something like that, like those are very precious collections and not generally realistic to obtain in a very short time frame. Like if you're collecting now, maybe 30 years down the road, you might have half of something like that with the prices that are going out there and the availability that's out there nowadays. So just it's pessimistic thinking, but just be realistic. And lastly, the last piece of advice I want to recommend or give up is that your collection is only worth as much as it's worth to you. So, you know, maybe it's for nostalgic reasons you're collecting, maybe you enjoy the games, whatever. Don't let anyone tell you what's right and what's wrong with collecting. Don't let my advice dissuade you or encourage you to do something. Like, do what you want to do. You know, if there's games out there you like, get them. If don't let anyone tell you your collection sucks or it's not right or you're doing things wrong. Everyone's got their little quirks. Everyone's got their little collection that they're proud of. And if you maintain, you know, pride in what you're doing and you're happy with what you're doing and you're not letting outside influences bother you, you will be much better off. You'll be much happier. And honestly, like, you'll have a much better time doing this. It'll be a lot more fun. For example, I love collecting Street Fighter games. I love collecting like Mario games and Zelda games. Do I care if I buy a game and it's got a RIP label? No. I'm going to show you something here. I've got it floating around. Here it is. Street Fighter Alpha 2 for the SNES. I love this game. It's a lot of fun. It can get extremely expensive online. I purchased this game for next to nothing because the label was damaged. It was a garbage label. I purchased another label for, you know, a few bucks. I cleaned off the old label, put this one on purely for cosmetic reasons. It's a legitimate game. It's a real game. Everything about this is authentic except the label. Do I care? No. Collectors might gasp at that. They might be like, what are you doing? You know, that's all wrong. You should never do that. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with what I did. If I were to ever sell a game, I'd post it right off the bat. This label's not authentic. Like, there's no reason to be, you know, unreasonable and try to scam someone. Like, I would tell them right off the bat, this label's not authentic. This game is not worth the price of the games that are going out there right now with perfect condition labels and stuff. Like, this game is considerably less now. Does that bother me? No. I'm happy with the game. I'm proud that it's in my collection. I like to play it. So don't let people tell you what's right and what's wrong. Don't let people influence your decision negatively or positively. Do what you want to do. Do what suits you and build your collection from there. If you do, you'll be much better off and you'll enjoy this quite a bit. Well, that's all I've got today. Take care, everyone.